Brian White and I are here, all closey, at the Tesla Diner in West LA. And when we walked in the door, the very first thing I noticed was a bunch of CyberCabs out there.
Four beautiful CyberCabs all in a row.
Their wings up, butterflies. Was that the first time you've seen one?
That's the first time I've seen a production model.
A production model.
Their production, you can tell because the paint is darker, the gold is darker and glossy rather than matte finish. And of course, they don't have steering wheels.
No matter what somebody whose name begins with an F thinks. Yes. Okay. So anyway, what did you think?
There's some really clever stuff that you can go downstairs and take a look at later. One of the things, and I was mentioning this, I think you were there when I was mentioning it, was where the hood comes down, it comes just a little bit over the light bar. Why would they do that? Because now the tolerances are much sloppier. If you're off by 2 millimeters or 6 millimeters, you'll never see it. And the whole car is designed that way. The interior, if you look at the police coming to get me, we'll see if they can get past security. If you look at on the inside where the door panels line up, instead of making door panels line up like this, they'll go like this. Because you've got this huge variance that no one would ever notice. Just put them together, kick them out the door. And that quality control, that isn't a lack of quality control, because then you watch them go out the door, jump on the noise, vibration, and harshness track, and give it 20 to 30 times the testing any other car gets. So seeing them in person is very cool, but I know what I'm looking at.
So I said today, I can't remember whether it was on X or on a video earlier today, that what Elon's going to do tomorrow is he's going to stop the show. He's going to stop it right in the middle, and he's going to go, okay, show the video, and then I'm going to show the video of 1,000 CyberCabs going into various cities and starting to pick up passengers. Do you think that's going to happen?
I am so excited for your vision. No, there's no video on the earnings call, so
there's a problem.
That's going to make it a problem. But also, they don't do product type things on the earnings call. So as exciting as that would be, that's a no for me, dog.
So if I turn out to be right,
I'm telling you what, man. If you turn out to be right on that one,
Yeah, I've been right once or twice.
Yeah,
You've been
not
right.
on anything that extreme though.
All right. So speaking though of the dispersal of these gorgeous golden bodies throughout the United States, what do you think? Is it going to be in weeks? Is it going to be in months? Where are we going to?
So there's two different things that are usually meant by beautiful golden bodies, and mine is already all over the country. So I don't think that's the one you mean. In terms of the CyberCab, they are already being dispersed. I used the word deployed in a thumbnail, and a guy said, they're not being deployed. This is clickbait trash. How dare you? I'm leaving. And I said, do you know what the word means? Because when equipment is deployed in the field, that doesn't mean it's put into service. Right. That means it is just placed. So they're being placed around the country. It's not for an elaborate storage thing. It's for use imminently.
Imminently.
So the question to when is, I've seen a theory that version 15 is around the corner, and when 15 drops, CyberCab goes out. So I don't have inside information that would help me validate that.
I've heard that argument a few times now, but I'm trying to figure out why that even makes sense, because version 15 is probably already operating. If 15 is close, they would already be using it on CyberCabs in the track and everywhere else, as well as the robotaxis in the cities.
Yeah, that's a good point. So it's a good point that we wouldn't necessarily see. We wouldn't necessarily see 15. I wonder if it would start showing up in any of the trackers as an employee testing, because that's something that some of the trackers have been able to see before, but I haven't seen that happen yet. So my answer to the question is weeks, almost definitely weeks, probably not a month or more, and I'd be very surprised if it's more than 2 or 3 months.
Okay, so within the month would mean the middle of August is your latest call.
Is my latest strong belief.
Yes. All right. I think that's reasonable. Gives you a little space.
Yes. I know there are people who will say there's going to be 1 million tomorrow. People who say Tesla stock will reach 1,000 before the end of this video.
Who would ever say that?
I'm going to get him to say it on April Fool's this year, I'm confident. But when Elon said we were going to be in half the markets by the end of the year, I looked around to see if anyone else's radar was going off, because that's a very bold claim and one I couldn't see a path to. But things have happened that I couldn't see a path to before.
All right, well, speaking of not being able to see a path, what do you think Elon's going to say tomorrow when he's asked 17 times how come his numbers were off with regard to robotaxi rollout?
He'll probably give him a double gun salute, which is two of these finest birds. No, I don't know. I think if one of those questions got through, the answer to the rest of them would be, I've already answered that. But I think the answer to the first one is, we do our best.
We do our best. But how could you be so far off?
Because doing something for the first time can seem easier than it is. Whenever people ask me, all these missed timelines on FSD and on autonomy and on robotaxi and CyberCab, why? And I say, if you look at 2012, every manufacturer who was working on FSD, on their version of it, they all, and I mean 150 of them, said by 2020, we will have it, and at least a half dozen of our competitors. So they were wrong about themselves. They were wrong about the competition. The only part they got right is that almost no one will have it, except maybe even more than that.
I think Volkswagen would probably get the record for the number of times that they promised FSD better than Tesla, and fired the various presidents as they were wrong.
It's insane. Nissan was convinced they would have it. They actually had a program that was delivering end-of-line cars to the end of the pier, autonomously. They're like, well, we got this sorted. How hard is it to introduce variables like children and animals in the road and cross traffic and drunk drivers? Turns out, it's pretty challenging.
Toyota was always right too. They've been talking about solid state battery in 6 months for 6 years.
Well, they would have had their solid state done. Well, solid state, according to Toyota, is coming in 2 to 3 years, or 18 months, as announced every 2 to 3 years since 2009.
Okay.
But who needs solid state when you've got hydrogen?
Yeah.
Toyota.
Everybody's going to do hydrogen. What, they were going to have 4 different platforms? Like hybrid, lithium.
Yeah, hybrid, battery, hydrogen, and gas. On the same line.
On the same line. So that worked out.
It's the Swiss Army knife. Do you notice that those aren't good at any one thing?
Yeah. So we're going to give Elon a pass for being wrong again because
I never believed him the first time.
Because you didn't even believe it the first time.
No.
But the stock market went nuts.
You're telling me stock market went nuts after shareholder day 25?
After he said the first time. That would be
2012?
No. Before. See, when would that have been? Christmas? Wasn't that Christmas?
It was shareholder 25, which was in November.
November, yeah.
And he said, wasn't it November? He said it'll be by the end of the year. Yeah. We're like, that's really soon. I didn't believe it.
So when do we get to 498? Wasn't that after that?
498?
497, 498?
497, 498, what?
The stock.
Oh, I don't keep track of that.
Oh, I see.
I have an expert who comes on to share with me about that.
Okay.
So.
All right, well, is there something really specific about CyberCab that you're extremely interested to learn?
Not to learn, but just to explain, is that there are a lot of manufacturers who are getting into low-end cars again. If you look at some of the cars that are like, what is it, the new Bolt is being sold for $32,000. It does not appear that they are bleeding money. They're probably making the car for about that. If you can make a Bolt for 32, you can make a CyberCab for well short of 25, because it's simpler, it's a smaller battery, it's cheaper parts, it's fewer parts, 4,000 instead of a Bolt, which probably has 22,000. And the Bolt will never have the volume to get the serious pricing, where CyberCab absolutely will. So the big thing is cost reductions are coming. And I am increasingly confident that as much as Tesla would prefer to keep all of them in-house, they will have no choice but to sell because of the people who need their stuff. I know you'd want to make 30, 40, 50,000 a year on this car. I want to buy it, I'll give you a $5,000 markup, a $10,000 markup, but I have to just leave the child car seat clicked in all the time. I'm not taking it into work with me. I have to have my tools, my sales kit, my change of clothes, my climbing gear, and I'm not going to just take that out of every cab I'm in. I want my own car. And also because of people who live in smaller markets like the one I live in, where Tesla would have to be crazy to set up a service depot. It would make no sense. These are my beliefs, Randy.
Your beliefs. Well,
don't challenge my beliefs.
Yes, I certainly would never do that. I don't think, have I ever done that on the show?
Oh, for sure. Without a doubt.
Okay, so you look inside the CyberCab. I'd only looked at it for a second, but you look inside the CyberCab, you see these kind of beach style chairs.
Yeah.
And you see, you talk about minimalist, it's like totally minimalist.
Right.
Do you really think people would buy that for a daily driver, because it'll be unsupervised by them? That's one of the reasons you buy it. It's unsupervised, it's simple, and it's inexpensive. But I mean, I could see it being like a glorified golf cart where you don't take it very far. But would you see this being like a commuter car?
So yes, I would see it being a commuter car. I see what you mean though. When I take an Uber all the way to the airport, it's a normal car. It's not a New York City cab where it's police seats in the back. But my answer to that, first of all, it is, ask anyone who's been in it, it's reasonably comfortable. I don't know anyone who's been in it more than 30 minutes, so that's not a great answer. But if it's your car, change the seats.
Oh yeah, that's possible.
Yeah, new seats are cheaper than a different car.
Right, right.
And I can see people, if they own it, customizing it the way they want.
Yeah, okay, well they do that with the golf carts. Have you ever seen what they do to the golf carts? Holy mackerel. Some of them have, they're Rolls Royce fronts and whatnot, so that'd be kind of fun on a CyberCab.
The only documentary I've seen about what you can do with a golf cart was Jackass Part 1.
Oh, yeah.
And they did some extreme stuff. So I don't recommend doing that. You can watch it.
All right, Brian, I think we've done enough here in the wild and crazy place. We got a jumbo screen over here that's bigger than my house.
Yeah.
Taller and wider and more square feet, I think, than my house.
Yeah.
So quite a place here at the top floor of the diner.
Yes.
In West LA.
In WeHo.
All right, Brian, as always, thank you for coming on. And to all of you out there, it's been great talking to you.